map apart. That way, you're like,
Well, I have no idea what we're going to talk
Yeah,
about. I'm going to wing it, but that's
They
what.
are. But I'm just putting it in case you like.
Welcome, everyone. So you're going to be on my right, Jack. And so today what we're talking about is memberships and subscriptions, like we talked about a few weeks ago. Like, I think it was like about 2 weeks ago or something like that. You're going to be right there. And so what I thought so we got Jack back. Jack Wade is in the house. And the reason he's here is primarily because Jack is handling all of our emails. And since we will be doing, since the plan for today is to look at memberships and subscriptions and really look at those first 30 days, onboarding new members, new subscribers. And Jack actually just sent me some stuff from Golden Hippo, so we can take a look at what they do as well. But what I wanted to do was really kind of take a look at the messaging, like what should happen day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, right? Like a 30-day kind of engineering retention, engineering client success, engineering bonding to the company. And I shared this. Well, I got a lot to share. So before I dive into all that, let's see. If you're watching us on Facebook, please comment, emote, and share. If you're watching and join our free Facebook group, Strategic Profits. If you're watching on YouTube, please thumbs up, comment, subscribe to our channel. And if you're watching on LinkedIn, comment, emote, and connect with us. And if you're watching on Periscope, why are you watching on Periscope? And yes, so I do these. My name is Rich Schefren, by the way, Jack Wade over there. And I do these live streams every Tuesday and Thursday, Tuesdays from 2 to 4, Thursdays from 6 to 8. But I will not be doing it this Thursday. Might have someone fill in for me. Not sure. Maybe we'll get Matt. Don't know. But I have to go to a wedding. So I'll be going to a wedding on Thursday night. Kind of a strange night for a wedding, but nonetheless, so therefore I will not be here. And we've got a lot of stuff in store over the next month or two, as far as really changing the game, so to speak, and rolling out a new version of Steal Our Winners, which I think will blow people away. You got a little taste of that in that intro video. And so if you're watching live now or even in replay, please comment. Let us know where you're watching from. Say hi. It's always better to make this as much of a dialogue and less of a monologue as possible. I can see all your comments no matter where you're commenting from, and we will pull them up on screen. So let us know where you're watching from. This way we know you're here, because we don't get a list of people who show up. The only way we know is when people comment. So no matter what platform you're on, please comment and subscribe. And I do these every week. I do 2 of them every week, primarily just so that we can help entrepreneurs like yourself online grow their businesses, make more money, enjoy the life of their dreams as they build the business of their dreams. And so we have, I know that we recorded some stuff a long time ago. I don't know if that stuff that we recorded ever even made its way to the...
It's still in process.
Oh, it's still in process.
Well, I think Mars finished the videos,
right?
Stuff, but yeah,
they were like,
Well, I think we're gonna find a way to make it all fit together. But yeah,
got it.
Yeah.
So so I'm also interested in what type of questions that you guys might have as it relates to a new subscriber or a new member or a new customer. What you do or what questions you have about how do you lock it in, and or any challenges that you have. I'm going to grab a glass of water, and while we do that, let's see here. This one,
clicking on people.
yeah, just start clicking on people. That'll be from, well, you can use this because this should be here.
Okay.
Yeah, so just use that. And
All right.
say hello to pull each.
What is up,
You
everybody?
can scroll all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't need that
Start
one.
that one right there.
Yeah. So I think she was continuing a comment, but who knows?
I'm sure she was. Renan's in the house. Hello from Brazil, Rich and folks. What's up, Renan? Kayvon K says hello from Vancouver. Hello, hello. Who else do we have here? Greetings from Lucerne, Switzerland. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Boom. And we got hello to Jack. Also, hello to you too.
Mhm.
Stephen Caffrey, the one and only from Somerset, New Jersey.
Is in the house.
Had a great SOW. John Curry is tuning in from London, England. What's up, John? And who else do we have here? SEO Test Drive Team. Hello from Los Angeles. What's up, man? And we got Jason tuning in from Tampa. And keep going.
Yeah, Priya from Israel. Hey, Priya. And Amit from Toronto. How's it going? Ned in DC. Glenn right down the street in Highland Park. And Stephen is watching on YouTube from Sholo, Arizona. I'll be in Arizona soon for the Copy Accelerator. What approach do you recommend for a lead magnet? Short and sweet or more in depth? Yeah, I can talk about that for a second. One thing that I don't think people really get is that really a lead magnet is your first introduction to the person, right? First impression. And I don't think it should, I think it should be more in depth, but from a standpoint of giving someone an epiphany or realization, an aha that they didn't have before. What I would also say though, is that while it should be more in depth, it should not have any friction in it. And what I mean by that is that like, if you compare my free reports to my paid reports, you'll see that my free reports read faster. They don't require the person to think as much. There's less exercises to do because what I will have a customer do or client do to get an outcome is not the same thing that I will do in my marketing to get a customer. In fact, a lot of times, like the worst performing free report I ever did was the Maven Manifesto. And it was partly because we gave away so much, but it really wasn't a factor of giving away so much that was the problem. It was that we really scratched the itch, that we gave people enough stuff to do on their own that they felt like, okay, well, let me do all this first before I buy something, right? And so what you don't want to do is create anything like that, right? You don't want to give your buyers a way out by giving them enough to get started without, benefiting from your materials. So I say it should be short and sweet. If you can do short and sweet and give someone an epiphany or a realization, if you can't, then more in depth to be able to do that. But it shouldn't just be about content. And that's really the more important part of that question, really. Any words about that?
I think what you're saying is kind of like you want to give them enough, but if they want the missing piece, the next action steps, you need to have something else to offer them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's like one of the things that when it comes to content, not necessarily like a meme, right? Like as far as what creates virality, and it's not really about like how good the lead magnet is, although that's a function of it. It's really like, it's not a question of them loving your lead magnet. They love their friends. And if you create something valuable, they'll want to share it with friends. Not because they love the piece, your lead magnet as much, it's because they love their friends. So, if it creates an epiphany or a realization or an aha about their problem, they probably know other people who have that problem that they'd like to share that with. So from my perspective, the best lead magnets are short and sweet, but deliver a realization or an epiphany and you recognize that this is your first impression with that person. So, it's like when I read a book by an author, if I really love the book, I will go out and buy every other book that author has written. Right. And that's the feeling that we want to leave people wanting more at the end of the day. And from Danube. Oh, I don't even know where that is, Guer. And I'm sorry that we missed the first half of your comment, because I'd love to hear what you were saying before this, because it sounds like a compliment. All right, let's keep going. Okay, we did that one. Okay. Yep. Cornell in Houston, Texas. And Adam in Syosset. Wow, Long Island in the house. It's close to where I grew up. Hello from Oahu. I guess that's Hawaii. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Roberto in Valencia, Spain. Wow. And Rajedra from India. And Sergio from Burlingame, California. And Paula from Colombia. Jeez. And Ned, thank you. You are our hero. Thank you for sharing. What is the biggest mistake that you see beginners make that we could avoid as mounting the site for consulting or finding your real voice just now? Do you get that or no?
No, I don't. Mounting the site.
I guess what about just launching the site for consulting or for finding the real voice now? Well, what I would say is that if it's for consulting, right, you have to show your mastery of the problem more than anything else, I would say, and your ability to give people insight about their challenges or their company's challenges or whatever you're consulting for, that is going to make the biggest difference. It's kind of like, I had this, I was on a live stream with Dan Kennedy, and this is like, I don't know, 10 years ago. And I was on a few times. So I got on, finished, but I couldn't leave yet. I was getting back on. So I stayed there for a long time. And while I was like hanging out, I was talking to the people that were handling the sales and the teleprompters and stuff. And what was really interesting is that sales would increase a lot more during the before story than the after story, right? And the before part of each person's story, right? And what I surmised from that was that it's in the before that people identify with the person, right? Like that person's story is similar to my story. And it, that what that conveys is that I know how difficult it is. I know what you're feeling right now. I know this. And people really want to find someone that understands their problem and understands them, because most people feel quite misunderstood overall. So hopefully that helps. Yeah. But Gore, if you have some, I know that I tend to give too much info. How do we choose what is the essential info? How to judge that? And thanks. Well, it's a lot like, the simple answer is the what, not the how, right? And what I would suggest is that you look at like the Internet Business Manifesto, and you can see how like I was able to like touch on project management, but like I gave a paragraph or two on project management, not much more than that. And yet, like, obviously there's a lot more to say about project management, right? But I was giving people an overview understanding of how different their business could be. And in the solutions that I was showing, my goal with each of those solutions was for the reader to recognize how much easier making money would be and how much easier growing their business would be if they were using things like this, right? So what I was giving people content, and I was giving them valuable content. That content was valuable in the sense that it showed people how much easier and how much more successful they would be using the strategies that I was sharing, as opposed to like the Maven Manifesto, where like we said, create your backstory, create this, create that, create this. Like we gave people enough work to do that they didn't see the need to buy something else that would give them more work to do. Rich, how many emails in your view is okay to send a week? I don't think it's a question like that, Ahmed. I mean, you could some places send out 30 emails a week. And if you're very passionate about that topic, then 30 emails a week is not overwhelming. But if it's something you're not interested in, 3 emails a week is overwhelming. So it's really more along the lines of who's your audience, what do you have to say, and are you just delivering value? Are you delivering any entertainment? You know, what is the breakdown, and what if you could mail as often as you wanted, what would you be mailing? I guess that's the question. John Curry, got it. Thanks. My key to a great lead magnet, it should be all the what to do, and you save how in the paid offer. Yeah, that's like the very standard advice, and I certainly don't have a problem with that. What you'll see in like the Internet Business Manifesto is there is a little bit of how, but the how is like them figuring out, like the reader figuring out their average hourly rate that they make in their business. And the whole reason to show people that was that I knew that the number would be less than what they thought it was. So that would freak them out a little bit and get them more serious. So the how is okay if it facilitates a deeper understanding of why what you offer is so superior. But, like oftentimes you'll see what was I just going to see? That's the problem with getting a text message right in the middle.
About superior.
Oh, no. Often you'll see that like when someone has like a software, they'll often teach you how to do it without the software, the how, right? But because it's so onerous, so difficult, so challenging, so time consuming, there's another how, and that's using the system to do it all, right? So it's not as black and white as that, but that's not a bad way to go when we're talking about info. Joe Schrefer is in the house. Look at that. Joe, we're talking about a 30-day gauntlet, so to speak, to achieve numerous objectives, and hopefully that's what we're going to get to today. Great phrase. They don't love your content. They love their friends. Brilliant. I got that from Kathy Sierra, just so that you know, Guer, so it's not original to me. Steph in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Good for you, Steph. And Stephen in New Jersey, and Syed Ali is in Pakistan. How can I start and join your team and share information? Well, join our Facebook group, Strategic Profits. Lisa in Miami Beach, Renan in Brazil. Random comment: the latest issue of Steel Our Winners is superb. Thank you.
It's never a random.
No, it's never random.
Welcome.
Super response. Thank you. I got the manifesto. Have it still. Awesome. Mika is in the house. Hey, Mika. Debbie's coming back today, and we still haven't gone out for lunch. All right. So should we take a look at, is it worth taking a look at the Golden Hippo emails?
If you want, I mean, we can do that later. We can do it now if you want, but maybe it might be something.
Let's take a look at it. What do you guys think? I think that we should. So I'm going to pull it up here for a second. We'll be out of the picture for a minute, I think. Oh, actually, maybe I can do it here. For those that don't know, Golden Hippo is the second largest, direct response, direct to consumer. Well, they might be smaller than Proactive, so I'd say actually maybe they're in the top 10. They're $1 billion company, and so let's take a look here. Okay, so that's that, and I got to go to Goodreader, and I got to go to Gaudry emails. So what's Gaudry's first name? Stephen? Is that what it is?
I think it is Stephen. I guess we'll find out in his email.
That's not what I want. I want this, but this is what I want. No, hold on. And then that. There we go. All right. So let's see. All right. And
it starts from 1, 2, 3, 4,
5. Yeah. All right. I just wanted to see if there was there. Okay. So we're going to open up one.
And so just for context.
Yeah. So how did you get on their list?
Yeah. So first off, this is a health offer that they sell health supplements and stuff like that. So everyone's probably different when it comes to their welcome sequence, and that's something to keep in mind when you look at this. But this is how they're doing it, which is worth looking at, I think.
So I got on their list because I was trying to get on their list so I could see what they're doing. And so I went to their website and kind of snooped around and try to find a opt-in
Mhm.
link anywhere, like join our email list. And I think what I found was uh, join, or get this coupon, right? So there's a coupon opt in, you'll get a 10% off coupon or whatever it was. So that's what I did.
Mhm.
And this is the first email that they obviously send you right away as soon as you opt in. And pretty straightforward. I mean,
Yeah.
they're just kind of, hey, this is Stephen Gundry.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Subject
joining it.
line
Here's
is
a coupon.
your 10% coupon is inside. So this is the very first email. And, Dr. Stephen Gundry, thank you for joining Gundry MD, right? 10% off. It's good for any product. When you're done shopping and ready to check out, just paste the coupon code. So it's explaining. I'll be personally emailing you with updates, breakthroughs, recipes, unique health tips, and exclusive subscriber-only discounts through this email newsletter. I look forward to getting to know you better.
Yeah, I think that's pretty important too. It's like you're setting the stage that this is a relationship now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to be talking to you.
Uh-huh.
You're going to, look forward to all this stuff and keep opening my stuff because there's going to be value in there. And so the second email, and let's look at the dates too. So the previous date that we just saw was
the 25th.
Yeah, the 25th.
So this is 2 days later.
2 days later. Yeah.
And you didn't buy.
No, I didn't buy.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm sure they have tons of different segmentations going on, but just so everyone knows, I strictly just went and opted in for a coupon. I never bought anything, but I was opening their stuff. This is just straight value that they're giving right here. I mean, the whole topic is, I forget what it was.
Well, it's not about meat, right? It's about steak.
Yeah. Read before eating.
Yeah.
And so today he's giving you, is that a recipe he says?
Oh, it's kind of a recipe, but what I would say is that it's more of a counterintuitive kind of strategy overall that, that my guess is that this, it's like you want to be the prophet that tells people the things that they can have, not the things they can't have.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So this is kind of like
displaying your expertise.
But also like, if you eat steak, you want to follow a doctor that tells you to eat steak, not to not. Right. And since the majority of people in this country still eat steak, like it's a good way to kind of, have that. So that makes sense, but it's all content. So it's interesting, right? That on day one or day zero, they sent the coupon, right? Nothing on day one, maybe because Jack didn't use the coupon. And then day two, right now they're doing a just total piece of content, right? But counterintuitive content, I would say.
And on that day two one still, like, yeah, it's all content. And I think the only thing that they kind of ask you to do certain things here and there. They don't overwhelm the person with, hey, follow us on social, do this, go and join our Facebook group, and make sure you take us out of the primary tab and drag us over here.
Yeah.
It's none of that. Or like, we're part of this email.
Well, there was whitelisting in the first one.
Yeah. There's just very small amount of things. So there may be something at the very end.
To make sure you don't miss out, please add this email address to your contacts or save senders, right?
And so each time they do like an email, they'll drip a little request or kind of have you, but it's not everything all at once. And that's something to look at.
Did you click on the link?
Yeah. I think I clicked on the links and stuff. Is this the second one or the third one?
This is the third one.
Is this the
article
it's still value, right? Yeah. They're telling you about their blog now. So again, it's straight value still.
Right.
Kind of going into Gundry's background.
This is number 4.
Yep, this is number 4, and it's a very abrupt headline. It's kind of urgent, like stop what you're doing right now. And again, but they're not hitting you with an offer. I felt like that was going to be the one where they're going to hit me with an offer all of a sudden.
Right.
But it's really like.
And this was Wednesday, May 5th.
Right.
This was already like 6 days later.
Right.
Like
a week later. Yeah. Still no offer a week later. It might be a small offer in here, but it's not very apparent. Like, I want you to click this link. It was more of a
April 25th, April 27th, April 30th, May 5th. And then this is the first offer.
Yeah. And this is like, boom, clearly I want you to see something right now, something eye-opening. It's a report that he put together. They built up all this trust. This is 2 weeks later. And literally 2 weeks later.
And this is to a VSL, right?
It's to a VSL. We can even click that right there and let's see where it goes. But it is straight to a VSL page. Win the war inside your stomach.
I mean, it's a whole 2 weeks later. And
interesting. All right. So that's that. I want to it reminds me of something that actually I'd really love to show. So I got to see if I can find it real quick. Who writes the copy for Gundry? Well, it could be Craig Clemens or someone who proteges under Craig Clemens.
Yeah, they have a huge team.
Yeah, and Craig, for many copywriters like Evaldo, who's like one of the top copywriters at Agora, his favorite copywriter is Craig Clemens and would follow all of his stuff. The other thing that I want to see if I can find here is that I also have, and I don't know if I have it on here, but I think I do. I have the Early to Rise Gauntlet from when Mark wrote it.
He wrote the emails?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
And so it's his gauntlet. And so I'm looking for, if I can find it, early. I know I have it on my computer. If I don't have it here, there it is. Okay. Oh, these are EPUBs though. All right. So I can do this and then I can open this in, let's see, 1 second. Let's see, that would be there. And then I'm going to share that. And where can I share it? I guess I could put it in iBooks, or I could even do it in VoiceStream, I guess. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Not going to read them though. Let's just see what. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to put Mark's on for a second, and I'll tell you why I like this, because I think there's something here that I definitely want to talk about. So let's do that. And then we can do this, right? Okay, so this is the very first message, right? Message 101, right? Welcome to Early to Rise. Thank you for trying out Early to Rise. In the next 2 weeks, you will receive 10 messages. Some will be on business strategies, some on personal productivity, and 2 will cover specific skills that help ambitious people succeed. I will address one subject each day. It should take no more than 10 minutes of your time. These discussions are not meant to be comprehensive, impossible given their length, but provocative. My goal is to get you to understand something, remember something, realize something, and ultimately do something that will make you healthier, wealthier, and even wiser. Success is a lifetime process. Early to Rise takes a day-at-a-time approach. Among the first 10 messages, you will encounter 2 business building secrets that are perhaps the most important you will ever know, a personal productivity system that will double your productivity and guarantee that you achieve your most important goals, an introduction to selling that will make any selling you do more effective, a rumination on what it means to live rich, and a really good story about negotiating.
Wow.
Right? So it's like, and then it goes into
it's almost like a lead to a sales letter.
Right.
That you just can't wait to read.
Yeah, and that's the point, right? Like, it then goes into a piece of content, right? Like it's, let's see. Okay, let's see, where was it? Okay, so then the most powerful way to grow a business. Let's begin with a business principle that is behind many, if most, not most of America's greatest fortunes. And then he goes into like where price is one of the key criteria. My mom's calling. One of the key criteria. Right, like in building a
what was the key criteria?
Price.
Oh, price.
Right, like as Mark's advice is always cut price in the beginning. Like, do what everyone else is doing, do it better, but cut the price. Right. So that's the idea there. But I love this intro because he really sets up like, so let's go back to us for a second now, and it's like it makes you look forward to receiving the next bunch of emails. Right. Like so. That first email really sets a tone that is kind of like you want to build anticipation. So we could say that like, right, like I'm just going to write this down, like day 1, right, like, or day 0 really, anticipation.
And it felt so easy too. Like he described it like, I don't know, bite size.
Yeah.
Take less than 10 minutes. Everything seems so simple. I'm going to get so much value out of this. All I have to do is open the email from Mark Ford.
Exactly.
Michael Masterson.
Yep. Yeah. And so the idea there, right, is that like, what a great way to kind of set up the beginning of the relationship that like, here's what you're going to get over the next 10 days. And it's not like necessarily you're going to get this tomorrow and that the next day, because then maybe you're already pre-selecting which ones you definitely want to read versus which ones you don't. And if you can, like, the number one thing, right, I would say is that you want to start a process where the likelihood of the next email getting opened is higher because they open this one, right? And that because the open rate is highest generally on day 0, right? Anything that we can do on day 0 to get people to look forward to future emails is really important.
Yeah.
Right. And so
that's your only chance, really.
Yeah.
Like either make that impression now or you're screwed. They're just going to go somewhere else, right?
Yeah. And let's see what people had to say, and then we will which lead magnet works for e-commerce home decor store? It depends on what makes your store different. If it's just a regular store selling home decor, I don't know that there is a really good lead magnet for that, unless you're giving people advice on how to use whatever it is you're selling, like to improve their home or something like that. But really kind of depends without knowing more. Jamie Ekins. Okay. Hey, Brittany Lynch. Hey, Brittany. Another Proton. Is that what you use?
Yeah. I have a separate email account just to like subscribe to offers. So that's what I use.
Michael Masterson / Mark Ford wrote those emails. Whoops. There we go. My wife bought Gundry's gut product last week. She has been talking about it for months. Good to see you live, Rich. I've not seen you live till now. Always just heard of your legendary work. Back in 2005, my guys at Infusionsoft had you at Copy God level. Dr. Patrick Porter. Oh, wow. Okay. Me, Deepak, and a bunch of amazing biohackers will be in Austin this week if you happen to cross paths in the big Lone Star State. I won't be LinkedIn user, but very into biohacking these days myself. So would love to definitely reach out to me and say hello to Patrick Porter for me. Patrick Sullivan Jr. Is that who it is?
I think that's what it is.
Oh, okay. Cool. Then definitely reach out to me, Patrick. And Aaron Handelman. Oh, I know Aaron. Oh, cool. Hey, Aaron. Good to see you, man. All right. So I think like we definitely want to have an element of anticipation, right? The next thing is that I also think, and I don't know where this comes in, right? We want to sell people on we want to resell them on Steal Our Winners, right? So somewhere like, and maybe that's combined, but I'm just going to say resell SOW. And then I don't know, you might have heard me tell this story. You might not have. So, and I'm sure there are some people here that haven't heard me talk about it. But when we first launched Founders Club, which is like, you know, some of you have seen some of the reports because we put some of them for free in the Facebook group. When we sold Founders Club, it was the very first time we sold something without like a big launch, right? Like, because we were still in our launchy mode at that time, webinars, automated webinars, and or right around the same time. And so we didn't do what we normally had done with all of our launches, which in our launches we would always credentialize me at the beginning, right? Because like, why should I listen to you, right? And so we didn't have any of that like in the beginning of Founders. And retention wasn't as good as what I'm accustomed to. So I was kind of like, what's going on here? And I decided I would ask Mark Ford about it, Michael Masterson. And so we used to get together on Wednesdays at a cigar bar off of Fifth Avenue here in Delray called Smoke Inn. And so my office at that time was like 4 blocks or 3 blocks away from Smoke Inn. So I went there at like 3 o'clock. Mark usually got there at around 6. And since I had some time to kill, I read a little bit. Then I was writing in my journal, and I was writing in my journal that I was at the cigar bar and I was here because I wanted to ask Mark some advice about retention and stuff like that. And as I was writing in my journal about this, I was like, well, why am I, just stepping back for a second, why am I asking Mark this, right? And I'm asking Mark this because, he's helped build Agora and multi-billion-dollar business. Wasn't at that time, but still many hundreds of millions. And so my belief is that he would know certain things to do that I might not know. And as I was kind of reflecting on that, writing in my journal, it occurred to me that part of the reason why I was there is because I was very familiar with Mark's track record. And that in all of the previous like launches that I had done, people were aware of my track record. But in Founders Club, people were not necessarily knew my track record. And so what I did was I created like I don't remember if it was 3 days or 5 days. I think it was like 5 days of content when people first joined Founders Club that would credentialize me, but like not just credentialize me, because like, so it was like covertly credentializing me while at the same time delivering a valuable lesson. So what I did was like, there was an article on me in Cranes about the hypnosis business going from 0 to 13.5 million. And they were talking a lot about how like I had tested every variable because it was direct response and how much we improved things over the years. So like I would send a like 4-page PDF of written material plus like the article 2 pages behind that, right? But I think the article was in front. And then the parts that there were parts of the article that were highlighted, and then in the written material it would reference like, if you read that statement, you'll see like so-and-so said, right? Like, so I keep referring back to the article to get people to read the article, right? Then I did it with like the Wall Street Journal article on me about the fashion business, right? Or the music business. And so what I was doing was teaching a valuable lesson each day, but I was teaching it in a way that people would also know my backstory, right? And so we have to resell SOW. We got to get them to bond and like Rich, like bond, like, and respect Rich, right? I'm not saying all this happens on day one, right? But like, we definitely want an element of that. Another obvious thing that we want to do is we want to help them engineer their first success in the first 14 days. So I'm just going to put engineer success. So for me, right, like one of the most important things that you can do, especially in any kind of like, with any customer, client, or member who's paying you, is to really think long and hard about how you can get someone either a quick win or a major success in a very short period of time. So, I've often shared this with clients of mine and friends. I don't know if I've shared it much on these live streams, but one of the things that I used to do with my programs as I learned more and got better at doing them was also incentivizing people taking action. So like when I taught the GPS course on theory of constraints, every week we awarded a new member with the best case study. So we had a bunch of people submitting case studies every week, and we would award a winner every week. And then that winner, we would fly down to our offices Thursday night. They'd spend the morning with me on Friday. They'd be on the live stream with me Friday. And then the rest of the day, my team would help them with their business. So people really wanted like to be flown in, taken care of, like, and helped grown. And so we had a lot of people who really moved and tried to get as much done as humanly possible because they wanted to get the prize, right? And what I wanted them to get was the result. So it was kind of a win-win, right? So definitely want to engineer something like that, right? Because, from my perspective, right, like this is one of those using like marketing powers for good, right? We're going to try and market to people and bribe the hell out of them to achieve some level of success. And what that does for them, obviously, if someone achieves a success, they're much more likely to stay loyal and be retained, right? And they're also really good propaganda for us to then get other members, right? Like if you start accumulating, like if our goal is to get someone a success within the first 14 days, right? Or maybe it's the first 7 days. I don't know what it is right now, but then if they get that success, then we've helped them pay for the program. And if we get a lot of those, like in a promo, if you see a ton of people who all like, joined last week and this week they're making more money already, that becomes a really easily sellable kind of thing, right? So you want to kind of get your head around how can you do that, right? And what will quickly kind of, I think, happen for us is that we're going to have a lot more things that we want to do than we can do in just a few emails, right? And so we're going to have to kind of think that through from a standpoint of how best, what comes first, what comes second, what comes third, right? Like, you know, how important is it for them to bond with me? Should we get them a success story first, right? Or do we make certain like things available, but not necessarily like email on it, right? Like, you know, so let's check back in with you guys, see what you guys have to say, and then we'll keep going. Yeah, open loops would probably be a good idea too. So let's see. All right. A wise man once told me the important staff and what you want very quickly as people lose their interest, very quick, short attention span. Yeah. Well, yes, of course, right? The challenge is we want to keep people's attention, right? So how do we do that, Amit? That's really the question. Will do. Got to share RS Genius. Cool. Dr. Gundry literally held my father's heart and held my father's heart in his hands. Wow. Jeez. Open loop technique. Then in that first email, why not to say too much, the whole story, giving them the chapters of the book, the story to come. So already in brain, setting up a home for your info.
I guess she's just describing what Mark IV did.
Okay.
In that first email. He
really,
really,
definitely open loops though.
That's open loops. And giving them the chapters, kind of soon. What's to come.
Right. Troy, you are our hero too, just like Ned. Thank you, Troy. Richard Swart, PhD, Aaron Peterson, Eric, Dr. Patrick Porter, Joseph McCarla. Oh, cool. Well, definitely say hello to the Porters, Patrick and Cynthia. It's one of the greatest rivers in mid and Eastern Europe on a beautiful blue dune with Strauss. Okay. Not sure what that's. Hi, Richard Jack, Peter Sy, watching on YouTube, still in hospital. Since I didn't die, I'm still looking forward to learning. Well, glad that you're alive and glad that you're learning. Welcome back to life, says Guerra. Joe Schriefer is Agora hiring junior copywriters right now. Joe isn't working with Agora anymore, so wouldn't be the best person necessarily to ask. All right, so anything else that you think is critical for us to kind of just like big blocks to kind of
I mean, yeah, that's like the content. I feel like there's some like housekeeping stuff that people talk about in their welcome sequence.
Yeah, and onboarding platform, right?
Yeah, there's always a little bit of just how to use the platform or whatever they need to know to enjoy and use your content or use the stuff that they paid for. If this is about customers.
So another thing, hold on.
And maybe housekeeping too involves like, hey, join our Facebook group, do this, follow me here, all that stuff, which is dripped, usually in small amounts. You don't want to overwhelm them in a couple emails, but
yeah, well, what you can do is you can put very valuable content in different places, right? To have people like go to the YouTube channel and watch this, right? And that, but some things I wrote down. So right now we have create anticipation, resell people on the product, right? Bond, like, and respect the personality. That would be me. Engineer their success. Like how quickly can we get a quick win? So quick win there. Using open loops to kind of keep things going forward. Coming soon, I wrote, but that actually is like tease what's coming next. And I'll talk about that in a second. Use the platform, like how to use the platform, how to get the most out of it. Join the community, follow on social media. I guess somewhere in here would be our vision, mission, and purpose, and who we serve, like our why, right? But like, so let me tell you a story. Like, So I had this disagreement with Jay. I thought he owed me money. He didn't think he owed me money. And I wanted to make sure that whenever you're in when you have a relationship with someone that you care deeply about and there's a disagreement, if that relationship is valuable to you, which my relationship with Jay is very valuable to me, then what you want to do is you want to give people other ways to like wipe away whatever perceived debt there is, so that later on it doesn't cause friction in the relationship, because it will. And whether or not, like, you know, in this particular case, right, the friction like might have come from me, but it could have come from Jay, because like maybe he'd feel guilty about it later, right? So so I needed to like figure out a way that I could let Jay off the hook, right, and also benefit myself. And so what I made a deal with Jay was to buy, and this was right after I did the Internet Business Manifesto, and so we had just launched. I had sold out the coaching program, and then we opened up the automated version, which at that time we were creating the first e-learning platform that dripped content, but that wasn't done yet. So we're actually using a forum and opening up threads in the forum, like for each module. Yeah. And so in the first, I think it was by month 3, we had the e-learning platform done, but that left month 1 and 2 where people were paying, you know, $400 a month for this forum, really, basically, with the content inside. And I wanted to make sure that we kept as many people as humanly possible until month 3, when then everything would be like a real like system at that point. And so I made this deal with Jay, and I told Jay that we could wipe away the debt if he would allow me to buy 1,000 or more copies of the Mr. X book, because that was my favorite marketing book. And so if Jay would sell them to me at cost, right, like if I could buy them from the printer, that would wipe away the debt. And then I would give those books to all of my $400 a month clients, right? And so he agreed. I bought the book. So then that turned into a sequence of emails where, one, I was trying to negotiate the book so that everyone could get it. You know, I wasn't saying that like I was paying for it. Then like the next email was, you know, tomorrow I'm meeting with Jay, like wish me luck, right? Like then 2 days later, like I met with Jay, the book's a go. I'm getting you guys the book, right? Like, and so I got to tell the story at the end of month 1 that transferred into month 2, and they got it at the beginning of month 3. So it bought me those 3 months, right? And I think I paid like less than $10 a book, right? And it locked in a lot of purchases, right? So people, like, if you're paying $400 a month and the book is $400, like retail, and you were thinking about canceling, well, I'll just stick around for another month, right, until I get the book. Yeah. Right. So like the idea of something very valuable happening at a specific time, right, could be really valuable. Yeah. Yeah. I like that. So tease what's coming, milestones, I'd say. Oh, let's see. All right. Oh, I asked what the denewed was. Got it. All right. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Only 200 characters. Yes. Checking in with description as I understood it. Okay. Hey, Rich, when bringing cold traffic from Facebook, you get them into your list and sell them right in there on thank you page, or you'd rather just pre-frame and give them value through the course of the days and then sell them days later after building the relationship? Giancarlo, what we're talking about here is onboarding new customers. So, so this is not just about getting people on the list like what Jack was showing us with Golden Hippo. This is really what we're talking about more is the overall sequence. Once you have a new customer, what are you mailing them? And, you know, one of the things that a lot of people make the mistake of is not separating their customer list from their prospect list, and that customers should be getting different offers than prospects, obviously. And I know that's pretty obvious for some, but many people still don't do that. Big mistake, Jack, that you often see and learn to avoid.
Just an email in general?
Email or copy, I guess. Either way. What do you think?
Well, if we're just staying on the topic, I think the, one mistake that a lot of email copywriters talk about when it comes to their welcome sequence is like what I said earlier, is that people overwhelm people with so much stuff on that first contact email, where it should be, you're kind of establishing the relationship and not giving them too much, overloading them with too much info or too many things to do at once, when really you should just give them kind of what they want, and and then over time you can drip out the other things that you want them to do, like join your Facebook group, or the housekeeping stuff, or like you don't want to like overload them and cram all your offers into them all at once and stuff like that. It's just more of a, you want to do that to someone that you just meet.
What do you mean?
Like you want to establish a relationship first, and just kind of like what you're saying, just give them value and introduce yourself. And you just don't want to give them so many links to click and do all this stuff, when really it should just be kind of like what Golden Hippo kind of did, where it was just like very gradual, building trust, giving value, kind of like what Mark Ford did, and just kind of setting the stage and not overwhelming them.
Got it. I think giving out a physical gift souvenir nowadays is also good to create connection, and even opening the loop for reciprocity, like you're inserting yourself into the person's routine. Yeah, I mean, I like Dan Kennedy sent a bobblehead of himself, and I had that for like a decade, and then it broke, and so now I don't have it. But he had like real estate on my desk for 10 years just by sending that bobblehead, because I didn't know what the hell to do with it. So I just sat on my desk, and there was Dan looking at me.
Where is it?
Well, now it's in the garbage because it broke in the move, right? Even a print newsletter could be interesting, getting something people can hold in their hands and remember you and your business. Yeah, Ryan had a really good idea, and it's something that I'd like to do, and that is a subscriber newsletter, like inside of Steal Our Winners, with success stories and stuff like that. And then also potentially a newsletter kind of, or at least a list for just all our contributors, where we're mailing them stuff, but for me, like specific things, stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
User guide, maybe, because like a user guide to the platform would probably be useful. And what did I just say? Totally
subscriber.
Subscribe. Yeah,
insider subscription.
Subscriber, insider, or whatever. Insider case studies. Oh, yeah. All right. So I think that's not a bad list. I'm trying to think of what other things, how would you now do this? I'm curious as to there are so many ways that we could go about doing this, right? Ultimately where we have to end up, not necessarily today, but where we have to end up is day one, they get this, day two, they get that, day three, they get this, right? Really kind of every step of the way, not necessarily writing the emails, but knowing what our goal is, right? And so how would you do it?
Well, I think first off, that first email should be very similar to what Mark Ford did. Like that. I love how he did that, where you just feel like, who wouldn't click on the next email after they read what Mark Ford wrote in his first email? And that's a very great way of setting the stage. When I think that's something you got to do in the first one. And so are you talking about content each day, or kind of just the overall, what are you asking exactly?
How would you set it up?
Set it up. Let's see.
How would you start? Would you Mark Ford style email, right? I imagine they'll also be getting their receipt.
Yeah. So if this is someone who let's just say they bought SOW, right? Or they did the $1 trial, it would be, Mark Ford style email. Maybe they would get two. Maybe one would be kind of their info, login details, how to use the platform. Another one would be kind of a more personal message from Rich Schefren himself, which has that kind of Mark Ford style email, setting the stage of the daily emails that they're going to be getting. Just making sure that they're aware that, hey, we're going to be emailing you now.
And then from there, it would just be what do we want them to know and what do we want them to do on each of the following days, to make sure we do our housekeeping.
Mhm.
Kind of some people talk about how you want to put in how you follow them on Facebook. And so if we want people in the Facebook group, it would be, I think you had a good idea, which was find a piece of content that's valuable that lives in the platform that you want them to go to,
Mhm.
where they can follow you or join your group and get that piece of content. And so not only is that a good email, but that also uh, guides them along to where you want them to go. And you can do that in ways where it doesn't feel like you're overwhelming them. You can put that part in the PS. That's what Gundry did. They kind of had that content email, and in the PS, that's where you kind of do your housekeeping. It's like first you kind of write the content, whatever you want in that series of emails, and then once you deliver that value, PS also, we're doing a giveaway in the Facebook group, or we're doing a giveaway. All you have to do is join. All you have to do is comment, anything like that. So that's always a great place to put it, I think, and that's what I've seen a lot is just leveraging the space in your PS to do those extra steps that would benefit your business.
I'll be back in 1 second. All right. Yeah. So what we can do is maybe it's a day 2 thing or a day 3 thing or something or like that. But we could basically have an email that's just all free gifts, but like recorded this video for you on YouTube. Like there's a document in the Facebook group, right? Like, there's 4 gifts waiting for you. Here's where they are, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then tell them a little bit about each gift. And the subject line is, we have, free gifts for you or something like that, right? All right. So I do like the idea of giving something physical, but I think that would have to wait until month 2, so that if we get someone who is asking for a refund or something, like we don't go negative, especially on a dollar trial. Yep. Yes, with welcome emails, we must remember, keep it simple, sweetie, stupid. Thank you for the great response. Read what to watch out for. It would be awesome to have a rich bobblehead. Yeah, that would be fun. Thanks for the reminders. The emails from you and Matt between sessions, often very interesting, just the right length. I open every time. Oh, that's good to know. I missed what you said at the beginning about the welcome email. When people sign up, I'm sending them to the welcome page in my Kajabi platform. I give them some housekeeping instructions, like add me to your contact list and be on the lookout for my email. Then they get what they requested in the welcome email. I missed what you said. When people sign up, I'm sending them to a welcome page in my Kajabi platform. I assume when you say sign up, they bought, right? Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like, Evie, the example I like to share with people is what we did at the store, right? Like when someone first walked in to the store, our salespeople always had they would hold clothes in their arm. And that's because people are a lot less intimidated by salespeople who are busy. So if they have something in their arm and they're putting stuff back, the person isn't scared to engage and say, no, thank you, I'm just looking, because like they're afraid the person's going to latch on to them. And the very first question and we mystery shopped for this was, hi, is this the first time that you've been in the store? And the reason why we asked that question was because our goal was to sell every person who came into the store, sell them on the store first. Because if we sold them on the store, tell my mom that my mom has been, she's like, I need to get it done. I need to talk to him right now. So we wanted to sell them on the store first. We knew that they came in for some clothing of some sort, but we wanted to sell them on the store first, because if we could sell them on the store, the likelihood of them coming back was much higher. So Evie, like, you're not taking advantage of the opportunity that they just signed up to facilitate more than just what they're getting, like to facilitate the relationship with you, to potentially turn them into someone who's a raving fan or a long-term customer, not just a one-time purchaser. And so the way you do that is by kind of framing the relationship right up front, and by really kind of letting people know where you stand, what you expect from them, what can expect from you, and getting people really engaged and on board. And that is what I'm talking about. So hopefully that helps, Evie. Am I boring you?
No,
Okay.
Good.
Okay. Rich, how long do you think you will keep SOW going? 20 years? I don't know. Matt's a lot younger than I am. So hopefully forever. Rich, during the first 30 end days, you sell them every day, even day zero, or you skip some days, just send pure zero pitch content. Giancarlo, once again, these are 2 new subscribers of Steal Our Winners. So our goal at that moment, although they're probably, I mean, we should probably have an upsell in here at some point. Upsells, well, upsell, some kind of like,
Yeah, so we're talking about SOW. I mean, we did have that example with Gundry earlier, which is different.
We could sell people on lifetime. We could sell people on annual. We could also sell them packages, like if they took, either one of those, so membership and other things, right? So, but Giancarlo, our goal is to lock in the customer, right? So, and to get them a success as quickly as possible. Whether they took a lifetime offer or an annual offer or a monthly offer, we still want to engineer that success as early and as big as possible. Considering that a large portion of customers do not access the info product they bought, maybe including something in this onboarding process to motivate them to actually consume and apply the content. Yes, that's what I'm talking about, Renan. If we incentivize the actual getting a result, like more than just giving them the stuff for the result, but then paying them or doing something for them because they got the result, that's what we're talking about. So I totally agree with you, Renan, but we're on the same page there. Hey, Rich, keep rocking, bro. Got onto this one late. Cool to see you, Cam. Evie, thanks. Cool. So, all right. So far we have anticipation, resell benefits, bond, like, respect, rich, engineer success, early wins, open loops, right? Tease what's coming soon, possibly a user guide, because that then cuts away a lot of stuff that we would have to possibly deliver in emails, right? And we can set up a lot of this stuff, right? How to use the platform, that would be in the user guide, right? I would imagine our vision, mission, and purpose could be in the user guide too, right? Join the community, because that's like, how do we get people active and engaged on our Facebook group? That's different than like watching like a piece of content here and a piece of content there. We want them to join, but how do we get them actually like talking to other members and stuff like that? Tease what's coming in the future, milestones and what they're going to get. Follow us on all the different social media channels to get certain things. Our why, and then some kind of potential place where people are overwhelmed with case studies of success.
Yeah, I think vision, mission, and purpose might also live in that first email too, like what Mark Ford did, where he's talking about the whole goal behind the newsletter to make you healthier, wealthier, and wiser, I think is what he said. And that's kind of like his vision, his mission with Early to Rise.
Right.
And I think selling them on the purpose of everything, that way they feel a part of that movement, a part of that, some of its identity, just more than the product itself, but they're part of something bigger than just the mere product that you're offering, like establishing that connection with them.
Let's see if I can do this real quick. Hold on. Someone wanted to see the whiteboard. There's really it's nothing that interesting, but
I don't think it's showing it yet.
Yeah, no, I have to do it here. So let's do this. No, it's okay. I don't want you turning the camera, because then it's a blurry camera and it would be problematic. There we go. So there you see it. Anticipation, resell, SOW, bond, like, respect, rich, engineer success and wins, open loops, coming soon, use the platform, upsell, user guide, join the community, here's what's coming. Follow us on social media, vision, mission, and purpose, our why, subscriber insider. All right. So that's that. And Debbie just sent me a thank you. Cool. And let's see. So that's that, right? And We just showed that. Giancarlo, I think we'd get a lot of cancels, but thanks for that. All right. So what I want to suggestion. Okay, let's see what a suggestion is. Want a quiz point to the person's most relevant content for them? Yeah, we've talked about that. We're actually going to use quiz funnels for that. So maybe also, even if we don't use it in, like, even if they didn't come in through that quiz funnelish, right? I'll just quiz funnel.
I don't know. This kind of reminded me Troy Erickson's Google Doc.
Oh yes,
A fax is pretty valuable for people too.
Yeah.
And clearly Troy gets a lot of great feedback on that. For everyone who doesn't know, he has a Google Doc. Basically, he'll create a reply email.
Right.
And I think he does that. That's actually in his welcome sequence is a reply email where it's a very simple email that is pretty much asking the person, hey, ask me your most common, what's a problem that you're facing?
Right.
Ask me any question you want. And then everyone who asks him a question, he'll take that question, put it in a Google Doc, answer the question. And then, you have enough questions and enough answers. All of a sudden, you have this Google Doc, which is a very valuable asset that you can now share when anyone asks you a question in the future in your welcome sequence, where you can basically tell them, hey, thanks for your question. I guarantee you it's probably found in this Google Doc because everyone is struggling with the same problems. And then you go and you check out the Google Doc. And what's cool about the Google Doc is that, not only are you answering all these questions and delivering a ton of value to people, but you can also subtly plug your own products in there where you answer a question and then you can also put like, oh, if you want to learn more about that, go ahead and check out my product here. And you have a little link to it. And then of course it kind of goes viral because people are sharing with people. Yeah, if it's good enough, people are going to share it with their colleagues and be like, hey, check out this Google Doc with all these answers to everything that we're wondering about, which is his Google Doc strategy in a nutshell, which is pretty cool. Everyone loves that.
Cool. Well, and I loved your idea, but I guess we'll save that one. The one about the idea about like how to release the next issue. Your idea there.
The event thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. All right, guys. I would love to entertain more questions because we can do this on our own, and it would be actually less choppy because we wouldn't stop and feel obligated to talk to you guys. So I want to help you guys as much as possible. And so yeah, I can totally see a Mark Ford style email, right? A receipt coming and like a link to the user guide, whatever we call it, like because we don't need to call it a user guide. We can like, the privileges of membership, like, or something, like why Steal Our Winners is something like that, right?
Right.
Because in the user guide, then we could talk about.
You guys are getting an inside look right now. Me and Rich thinking about how we're going to do our own onboarding sequence. It's real time.
How do you think that? So something that I did, right? Like when I first started talking about Steal Our Winners from the stage, I talked about how some things get better with time, other things do not, right? And I had milk versus wine. And then over time, I figured out a better way to do that by doing these diagrams, right? That results go down over time with any new marketing tactic, and the effort goes up. And so there are these three areas. And so that I think is a really important message, right? For everyone to see. And that either could be a pop-up in the platform, like as a video of me just talking to them for like a couple minutes, or because that's such an important, we want people to understand where we fit in.
And this is kind of goes into what you wrote down, which is resell SOW in a way.
Yeah.
And you're drilling the ideas that you really want them to accept and those beliefs that we need them to have, because at the end of the day, we want to increase retention.
Yeah.
And if they accept what we believe to be true, which it is, I mean, that's just the way, you know what I mean? Then obviously that's going to increase.
Right.
And you're saying that those things that you mentioned, those ideas, you're thinking about how to incorporate that into the onboarding itself.
Yeah, I mean, like, do we put that in whatever the user guide is, or do we actually like record a special video where that's just in the platform that greets every new member, like once they buy, like what's the best way to make sure that it gets conveyed?
Right.
Like, you know, um, or maybe it's all the above, right?
Yeah. Or it's like, finding a story that's valuable and kind of teaches some type of valuable lesson that you could also tie into the fact, like transition into,
Right.
just kind of Ben Settle style, Matt Fury style.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's see what we got here. What to write in the first 7 sequence mail to new customer for multi-product store. Well, Rajesh, if you don't know anything other than that they're just a new customer, then you would send them whatever the best-selling products are. You would sell those would be your offers, whatever is the best-selling product. If you know anything about them, then you would start making those recommendations a little bit more appropriate. But they should be your best-selling products at the end of the day. That's where you like, if they're best-selling, there's probably a reason for that, and you want as many of the people that visit your store to see those things. I like quiz funnels. What kind of questions are you thinking about for your quiz? How many questions do you think are enough for a quiz? Well, it depends, right? Like for a quiz funnel that we're using as a lead generation, that's one thing. Another quiz funnel inside of our platform would be about figuring out, like, do you currently have a website? Yes or no? Do you currently have a landing page? Do you currently have a sales letter or video sales letter? Do you have a webinar, right? And based on these kinds of questions, then we would know what assets they have, and if we have content that would help them improve those assets. And so I could see something like that, Evie.
I have an idea for
Okay.
the one before that one.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Maybe this is worth trying. It's just a quick idea. The one about the 7th.
Yeah, I got it.
But I want to read it. Can I see it?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, I was just thinking, if you're gonna think about an email to put for someone who's maybe if your store is a home premium store, like kitchenware, home decor, glassware. Okay, so this is just something that I thought of real quick. This is what I would do. I would write an email that is, try to provide value first and foremost. And so a way you could provide value, or think about very easy, low effort, but big needle moving decor ideas that could literally, all you have to do is buy maybe 2 or 3 things, and it's going to completely change the atmosphere of a certain room. Make it very specific, of your dining room or of your kitchen. Okay, so like think about specific rooms, and you can make the email about 5 products. I don't know if I would use the word product, but like 5 products, 7 products that will instantly transform your kitchen. It seems very easy, very doable. Doesn't take a whole lot of effort. Like, oh, you got to paint the whole room. You got to go buy another kitchen island. It's just it's like 7 accents. And then of course, as you list those things, put in little links where they can buy that stuff from your kitchen. So that's something that I would do for, I know it's not like an info product, but like, if you have a kitchenware, if that's your type of your niche, if that's your industry, that's something to try. And I'm sure that's been done before, but that's an idea. Providing value.
Yeah, eventually we can share them once we get them all done, for sure. Cream pie emails. What's cream pie emails? I don't know. Giancarlo, you got a dirty mind. Rich, what is the major attribute, strongest point? Major attribute, strongest point of SOW. Well, the strongest point of Steal Our Winners is a couple of things, but the strongest is that it is strategies and tactics that are currently crushing it that the world doesn't know about. Now, why is that valuable? It's valuable because when tactics first are generated or strategies first used, they are generally the most powerful. It take the least amount of effort to get incredible results. Over time, the results go down, the effort goes up. And so you're getting strategies at their inception or early towards that inception, as opposed to years later when they get into a course, right? And in my presentation, I show people examples of the first time automated webinars were used, the first time it was in a course, the first time VSLs were used, the first time it was in a course, right? So I can show numerous examples like that where you're seeing this multi-day delay. So that's on the one hand. The other is that after you've gone through a course and now you're getting a result, but you're not happy with the result and you want it to be better, you don't have any other option other than buying another course before Steal Our Winners came out. With Steal Our Winners, you can get the information that you need to know, that is precise, that is up to date on exactly how to improve whatever marketing tactic you're currently doing. And there's nothing like that exists anywhere else. And so there's a reason why every mastermind that I attend and I give a presentation where I'm just sharing some of the 7 secrets from Steal Our Winners, that I'm told every time that this is the best presentation that's ever been done at the mastermind. And the reason for that is that that's why people go to masterminds in the first place, like $30,000, $40,000 masterminds, to learn tactics like these. And yet, we provide it at a much discounted rate, and we do it every month, and you don't have to travel, and you're going to get stuff because you couldn't get that many people in a room to share. So that is, I'd say, the single biggest benefit. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, I'd say that's the strongest point. I'd say the other point, though, this right there under, is that people are pressed for time. I would imagine that each and every one of us has courses that we'd love to go through. I know I have a crazy amount of courses I'd love to go through, but I don't have the time to go through them. And so not taking into account that most people don't have the 10 hours to go through a course, but have an hour or two to improve their business, like that's who we serve. All right. As an adder, I think a PDF user guide explaining everything has a huge chance of getting ignored at first, although I also think it's a must-have since one can go check it anytime. Yeah, well, if we call it a user guide, I certainly think people will kind of ignore it. But if we call it something else and we have it available in the platform, we send it to people on day 0 or 1, we have a higher chance of it getting, especially if there's something valuable in it, which we can put in there, like free ticket or something.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just to help people understand. It's not like it's not the biggest issue if someone does ignore it too, but yeah, I don't think we would call it a user guide.
Yeah, we wouldn't call it a user guide, but we do want it consumed because we're going to put propaganda in there that enhances our kind of thing. What do you think of having a Facebook group for Steal Our Winner customers where they can discuss how they applied the strategies in Steal Our Winners? This can be a useful support group to help us implement and learn from each other. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if did Matt end up going forward with Circle or not? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to have our own platform where we're doing a group, or if we're going to use Facebook. I'm not sure what Matt decided, but if we keep it in Facebook, then yeah, we plan on doing that. And there'll actually be a Strategic Profits Facebook group, which will be free. And then there will be a Steal Our Winners group, which will be only for the paid members. And
yeah, I'm not sure if that's going to be on Facebook or not, but that is in the works right now.
So I don't know if it's a Facebook group, but yeah.
Stephen Caffrey says SOW equals the cutting edge of the tactics that work. 100%. 100%. Giancarlo. I see.
Something valuable like a path to follow depending on interest pursued while acquiring the offer.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like we're gonna have stuff like that. It's like he's kind of saying after they take a quiz, for example,
right?
So if we're gonna present a path, there will be, and that's what's being built right now.
Yeah, what tactic they should use first. When someone joins SOW, if they get a complimentary PDF with links to a handpicked group of interviews that they had giveaway rights on, the PDF would have a link to the sales page. This would create a viral effect for a little free traffic. I get what you're saying. Kind of like making everyone an affiliate and giveaway rights on. Yeah. Huh. Cam, yeah, let's talk about that. Like, I like sale rights. SOW, something like that. I dig the idea though, and highly agree with sending trail to success user guide immediately after purchase. Please keep it off Facebook now and use a forum, etc. from you. Rich, can you do a Zoom call one day with members? Well, with lifetime members, they get 3 calls with me, but I would imagine that we'll do some open office hours every once in a while inside the platform. Office hours inside the platform. Cool. Yeah, sorry, that was unclear. All the censoring on Facebook now, the info collecting, I always feel less free to discuss anything there. Other good sites for this instead. Yeah, there's Circle, which is where you own the actual data, and it's on your site. The challenge is, though, that there really is no place safe online. Whether it's YouTube, Google has all the information in the world, or Facebook, or Facebook is Instagram, WhatsApp, and everything else. So Google and Facebook spread basically the internet, and it's hard to be somewhere where they're not. How about building an SOW member area on Groove Member? Well, we have an SOW Groove, and it is on the Groove, or is that also on Thinkific right now? I think it's on Thinkific right now.
But he's talking about apparently Groove has a group type of aspect.
I'd like to see Jack and Matt together in a call one day. Why, do you think they're the same person? Yeah, that would be fun. Maybe they can do it on Thursday. Maybe they'll do a Zoom. But let's see. I mean, I have all these notes, and I could go so much deeper on this, but I don't know that that would be the ideal thing. Like, see, I thought this was interesting. I have this here. Let me see.
Can we present that?
Yeah, we can. Hold on.
It is interesting.
Let's see. Which one is mapping the first year? All right, that's this one. Well, so let me first just actually, hold on. What the hell is that? Where did that come from? Cancel. I don't know where that came from. All right, and now let's share. Screen share. And there we go. Or can I do a window? Evernote. I don't know if it's going to stay, but let's take a look. Cool. That's going to be too small, I would imagine, but let's see if I can move it over here, and then let's see what happens here. Let me do this. Okay, that's okay. So as you guys can see, we're in my, let's see, maybe I can even get rid of this a little bit more. There we go. So this is actually this we'll review another time, but this, I just read this book, or PDF, Subscription Revenue Forecasting. This was the thing, right? And these are all my notes on it. And it's all about like the most important metrics as far as monthly recurring revenue, net retention rate, like stuff like that, churn, right? But we won't go there for now. What we'll do is we'll look at this. And so I haven't reviewed this one yet. So this is completely unprocessed. But what I thought was interesting is like first breaking down like the membership timeline as like welcoming, connecting, engaging, reviewing. I don't know that we would have those, but like, there's definitely a welcoming, there's definitely a connecting, there's definitely an engaging, right? Who's on the journey? What prompted? What are the expectations? What do you want this member to experience? Who should be involved to support this experience? And then I thought that this was the part that was really interesting, and that's not opening. So let me share this. Hold on. Whoops. You'd think that my family would know that I do a live stream every week. I think
they know. They just like to bother you.
Yeah, maybe. Wait. Okay. So there it is. So this is in that article in my Evernote, right? And it's like, okay, they have members' anticipations versus meeting members' needs, right? So welcoming, right? So what this person who wrote this article is saying is that when people first join, they want to know, tell me what happens after I join, tell me more about the organization, let me tell you more about me or us, and give me directions on how to get started or where to go to learn. Right. And then you meet those by welcome letter with brief overview and links to new member web portal and contact info, FAQs, video surveys, phone call from staff liaison to learn more about the new member, and follow-up emails. All right. Connecting, members' anticipations, answer my questions in a timely manner, provide direction on where I can plug in that matches my interests, tell me about upcoming things I might want to know, check in with me to see how I'm doing. Meeting members' needs, email engagement guide with short surveys to identify engagement opportunities, phone call from staff liaison or volunteer to check in and answer questions, follow up from key staff based on interests or needs, right? Engaging. Early connections are developing into peer relationships. I receive value even if I can't show up often. I feel that I belong to this community, know what's going on and how I can contribute. Now, this is any membership. So this could be like, you know, a golf club. Right. It could be anything. Right. It could also be an online thing. Send survey or polls to get feedback on issues, programs, and needs. Receive survey results. Staff or volunteers send personalized emails and targeted opportunities and remind members of different ways to engage. And then reviewing. I don't know about the reviewing part, but let's just take a look. My initial year was just what I imagined or better. I enjoyed interactions with peers and information I gained. Staff recognizes me and makes me feel my contributions are appreciated. Send a customized pre-renewal letter with a summary of their activities. Right. So that's, yeah, more groupy, I would say. All right, let's go back to this. And now let's see. All right. That's funny. Great. Never heard of Circle. We just joined Groove. Cool. Awesome that you just joined Groove. So there's a lot that I want to share, but I'm just not sure like who is watching that, like where you guys are at. Like how many of you have membership sites or you have a separate sequence, not just like one or two emails when people buy, but a separate sequence for buyers versus prospects. I'd just be really curious about that. And if we don't get much take, then we'll just end this live stream early, and we will work on that list to figure out like how we best actually deliver on these. And so give you guys a minute or two. Kayvon's building a membership site. That's good to know. Wait, I am building a membership site. I have a membership site and several sequences for different products. And Cam, what is your membership site for internet marketing? And then what is it mostly in there? Just curious. And let's see. Finalizing membership night. Now, what's your membership going to be on? Wow, there's a lot of people building membership sites. In the process of starting a membership. I have a membership site on Kajabi. Very cool. So we got a lot of, so are you guys doing things like to maximize retention and minimize churn? Or is that like you're just focused on more at this point because of your size? And who the hell is texting me so much? Okay. Let's see. Building membership site, also thinking of STEM courses. Yeah, it focuses on MMO and it has 3 pillars monthly. What's MMO?
Make money online.
Oh, make money online. It has 3 pillars of value, a new product every month, a monthly group coaching call, and a package of done for you content. Oh, cool. Memberships are popping off. Yep, apparently. I'm starting to build a membership system, as we are too.
I like that.
In process of building membership site for clients wanting to get effective digital transformation. Very cool. Starting the creation of the membership. So fantastic today. Many, many thanks. You're welcome. Interested in getting them and keeping them. Following voice awareness and care. All right. So let me show you one other one that might be interesting to some of you guys, and then we'll call it a day. We'll wrap up early. What was the thing that I saw that actually was pretty decent? I want to see, because I have to look at I think it was this one. Is this it? All right. Well, let's do this, and I'll just do this. Add a tag. SP. There. All right. Me? Okay.
He's doing a membership.
Oh, okay. Love your detailed analysis of this issue. Forced me to think longevity and create ideas for email sequences. A really insightful process as I build my list and group. Membership is in the hospitality industry, but communication and building relationships. Cool. Doing as next step to share info to more people, also reliable income, as I can take 8 clients for deep voice guidance and work. I came in late. Feel like I don't know exactly the topic. Sorry, guys. We were just talking about like your initial sequence for new members and how to lock in retention, decrease churn, get them to ascend, be loyal, stuff like that. Really appreciate this live session. Cool. All right. So let's drive this now. Okay. So here's some notes from let's take a look at what this thing. So this is the actual article, how to sell membership site subscriptions. It was, where was it from? It's from Blog Marketing Academy. Okay, that's where I found it. Blog Marketing Academy, how to sell a recurring membership site subscription. And we'll get into the notes for a second, but I just want, so, just progressive summarization, right? Bolded what I thought was important, then went back through it again and highlighted what I thought was more important of the bolded. So what's left is just what I first bolded and then also what I highlighted. So, all right. So consolidated note. Membership sites are best known for the recurring monthly revenue. When we think about our online memberships, it isn't the recurring nature of it that is the big sticking point in selling it. It is the offer. We will pay every month for something that we cannot do without. We will pay every month for something that is difficult to walk away from. It's called pain of disconnect. But at the core, we will gladly pay monthly for something which we see is giving us more value each month than what we are being asked to pay. So it all starts with your offer. What are they going to get each and every month? What is the real world value of the benefits they're going to receive each month? What impact will it have on their daily lives? You have to give more value than what you're asking them to pay. Furthermore, they need to see and know that what they are getting is worth more to them than what they are paying each month. Always remember, you're not selling a bunch of videos. You're selling the outcome and benefits that come with having that outcome. And you price according to that. You also position your pricing around that. How to enhance your offer. Well, digital memberships like the kind we're talking about around here could contain a number of things. Training and information. Are you going to be delivering something of value to them each month? Access. People do place value in having access to experts to help them. Perhaps you can build in a higher level of access to your program. Clarity and speed. In many markets, there is a sense of confusion and overwhelm. If you can truthfully tell them that you're going to provide a life raft and drastically speed up their progress, that's real value. I think we do that. Done for you. Will your membership contain any kind of done for you? There you go, Cam. Service. This can be a demanding thing to offer, but it has insane perceived value. In fact, you could probably charge a lot more for your membership if it contained a done for you component. Status. Will your members get any cool, I guess, swag, really? Yeah. Use among their peers through your program, bragging rights, a competitive advantage. Software, if you can couple software with your offer, that can increase the value of offer, a sense of belonging. Will your prospect feel like they're missing out on the cool kids club if they're not inside your program? That's the goal. How to reduce perceived risk. Provide a guarantee. Obvious. And pretty much everybody offers some kind of money back guarantee, but can you really ramp it up so that your guarantee stands out from the pack and really makes it clear you stand behind the value of your offer? I think we could do something like that. Don't hide the cancellation option. You shouldn't hope they forget that they can cancel. In fact, you should be open about it. Tell them they can cancel anytime, even show them how to do it. By being upfront about it, they realize that they're not committing to some long-term thing and they can back out of it if they don't like it. So that's that article. I will now show you a different article, and then we will go back to questions one last time, and then we'll call it a day. So let's see what this other article is. Anything to add, Jack?
I like that. I think it really touched on the fact of reselling the benefits, like you're saying too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the most important part of reminding people of the value that they have. And because a lot of people don't use a lot of the stuff they buy online, most people don't. And so at the very least, if they don't use it, you have to remind them how valuable it is. That way hopefully they will use it and become fans of it.
Yeah, I agree. So this one actually is not that exciting, but it might be for any of you who are working on memberships. So this was just, I found it at Member Mouse, which actually my old right-hand guy ran that for a while. I don't know if he still does or not, or worked there. So these are just the tools of someone who does a lot of membership sites, what their favorite tools are. So for forms, user registration quizzes, Gravity Forms. For site performance and caching, WP Rocket, right? And that's so that the whole site loads faster. It caches the site.
Gotcha.
Right? SEO plugin, FV Simpler SEO. It's a plugin, right? Email marketing, Active Campaign, and Drip. We use Infusion software.
Yeah.
We also have an Active Campaign. Lead capture, Thrive Leads. We use Groove and ClickFunnels for that. WordPress theme, we've created our own for our next revision of Steal Our Winners. Hosting, Cloudways or SiteGround. Security, WordFence, a great plugin for WordPress security. If your membership site's going to be on WordPress. Application connection integration, Zapier. Pretty much everyone knows that. Payment provider, Stripe or PayPal. Those are the easiest, although you pay a little bit more with them. Membership plugin, Member Mouse, which would make sense. Since this article is from Member Mouse. And then let's just see if there's anything else that all I did was really highlight those because that was the only thing that was really valuable in this article. So there you go. So let's now check in. Hopefully you guys could hear me as I was looking at my screen and not at the mic. All right, let's see. I have a 3-month rotation on my content. When a new month's content comes out, the oldest drops off. So this helps with their retention a little bit. Oh, that makes sense. Awesome topic, guys. Great live. Cool. Yeah, let me take a look at this for a second. So I printed out this and I made a copy for Jack too. I don't know if you guys remember this, but this was a picture of my whiteboard that I had in my office that just when I was working on campaigns, a lot of times I'd put all these on, like more related to launches. But I imagine that quite a few of these we could kind of morph a little bit and use in addition to the overall sequence, right? Like fostering community, like not necessarily surfacing and eliminating objections, but like kind of like reminding them of the pain that we take away, right? Like, and things like that. So I think there's probably some good stuff in here, like hope, right? And kind of figuring out the same tactics that we use to sell. Can we use them to get people to the finish line, right? That's ultimately what we want to do. The goal is and I think this should be important because in our world, a lot of times this kind of just is left unsaid. Like, if you want to retain members, then make something worthy of that people would want to be a member of, right? And so it's like, how can you do more for your customer or member or subscriber or client that would make it like dumb for them to leave at the end of the day? Like, that's what you want to make it, so that the smartest people want to be a member, not the dumbest people. And unfortunately, I think the way a lot of people talk about membership sites and retention and stuff like that, they're thinking about tricks and like friction to like cancel and shit like that, which is bad will. And at the end of the day, it's not the most direct route to get what you want anyway, which is to actually get people to love being a member, love paying you because of what they get in return, right? And so that, I think, is where we want to do it, but we want to do it in the most ethical way by giving our subscribers as many wins as possible, so they want to stick around and tell others about it. How to decide the membership pricing of monthly or quarterly or yearly membership, how to decide or keep all options. Well, I think, Aaron, it also depends on like what your goal is, right? Like, so when we first launched Steal Our Winners, the goal was to build $100 million business inside of Agora. And I had to think about like, what would be a kind of newsletter that, something monthly that could create all the premiums that we would need, because I didn't think the copywriters at Agora would necessarily know what premiums, because they're not in the market as much as we are, and could support like 100,000 subscribers. So when we're going for that, right, 100,000 subscribers, that's why we sold it for $50 a year and $250 a lifetime, because we were just trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, paid subscribers at $50 a year, because that would support a $100 million business at Agora. Once we took it out of Agora, though, we changed the prices because we were no longer trying to grow it to a $100 million business. We were now just trying to be a business, and without the funding of Agora. So that's why we then altered the prices. And so we're going to raise the prices again relatively soon. And we'll make the monthly more expensive. Maybe actually monthly, annual, and lifetime will all become more expensive. And I also think, and this I haven't even spoken to Matt about yet, but something I want to do when we raise the price for lifetime is I also want to put a minimal like maintenance fee, like it's like $50 a year, like, or, so that like we still have, because like, if you think about it, if people pay $2,000 for lifetime, right, are they going to let it disappear for $50? Or is it a way of like kind of locking in a lot of people paying you $50 long term, right? Just because of access?
Yeah.
Something to think about. I mean, we wouldn't do it retroactively, so anyone who's in is in, but going forward, that might be something to do. And Cam shared, you rock, Cam. So we'll give you like 2 more minutes here to just ask any final questions, but if there aren't any, then we'll call it a day. You have something to say?
Yeah, I think just maybe the biggest, when I first got on board at Strategic Profits and we were talking about the whole gauntlet thing, I think the biggest maybe aha moment or epiphany, I guess you call it, when it comes to creating an onboarding sequence is like what you're talking about, where like pretty much the marketing doesn't end. It kind of keeps going. And what I'm looking at here on this photo that Rich showed me, and I think this is when you were thinking about doing, it was a while ago. I mean, a lot of this is all marketing stuff, like eliminating objections, intensifying the pain, and just reminding them how valuable at the end of the day, reminding them how valuable the product is, the service is, which not only entices them to actually use it, but kind of makes them want it even more. And it doesn't feel like you're just giving them something and then that's the end of it. Like you're constantly bringing it up. It's kind of like, I just think of like Ben Settle, like with his email player subscription, where he like, he'll email all about that. And of course he's selling it, but the people who are reading those emails too are people who are already subscribers. And it's just constantly reminding them of the value that's inside. And that's a long-term play. Maybe it's not all about like the first 30 days, but at the end of the day, I think that's so important is just like continuing your marketing for it, even if they're already a subscriber.
Yeah, because
like, making it valuable at the same time.
Yeah, we got to make it valuable. And, the whole idea is like there's a promise going both ways with a subscription, right? People can cancel a subscription at any time, but there's an implication of doing future business together like the following month. And the promise from the company is that we're going to give you like equal value or better each and every month, right? Like what you're going to get, you're going to love from us. And the customer's commitment is, as long as you're doing that for me, I'm going to continue to be a customer. And so I think that, I think making sure, like, you can't take people for granted. And if you do, like, odds are they will leave you. And so, yeah, they're definitely, you need to remind people of like what makes you great and why you're here and what you do for them. And if you don't, then you will suffer because of it. And there was something else I wanted to share, but now I'm drawing a blank. So let's see if it pops back up in my head. So yes, since I'm in SOW, charge the moon, LOL. Thanks as usual, Rich and Jack, great insights. Curious the amount of content one should have prior to onboarding. Well, I think you should onboard anyway, right? Like, it doesn't matter how much content. Like, ultimately, you want to resell people on what they just joined and make it so. Oh, now I remember. What you want to do in the onboarding is very similar to, I'm sure, an experience that most of us have had. If you've ever been in a store, picked out like an item that you really liked, it could be any kind of store, retail, I mean, clothing, electronics, whatever, and you bring it to the register, and they tell you, oh, this is on sale. You didn't even know it was on sale, and now it's like half the price, right? Like, you were planning on paying full price, but you get to the register and they're like, oh, that's on sale, and they're like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, and then you're really stoked. Now you like this purchase even more. You're like super excited about it. Like, you were buying it anyway. Now you're even more excited. You want your onboarding, not necessarily like that it's on sale and now here's a refund, but to get people as excited as that. Like, people should be as happy to hear from you as they are to hear that, like, the item they like is actually half the cost of what they thought was. And, so you have to keep that in mind. It's also like, even here, right? Like, as we talk to you, right? There's a difference between, and I'm not saying that we're great at it, because I don't think we are, but, we could talk in a very slow, monotone way, right? And that'll have a certain type of experience. Or, right, like, you can be amped up and excited, and that conveys, right? And so just in tone of voice and everything else, it needs to be purposeful. And you need to understand what it is you want your subscribers to think, feel, and know. And how soon do you want them to think that way, feel that way, and know those things? And my goal is to get them to think, feel, and know as much as humanly possible in the shortest amount of time, so that, like, we can lock in that membership. Oh, well, that's very nice of you to say, Ned. Cool. I like how SOW launched in the funnel of the 24-hour live stream. Awesome tactic. Thanks, man.
One thing.
Yeah.
Who won the T-shirt?
Yeah. What's the T-shirt?
The CSIB.
I said that I was going to give it to all four, right? But they had to get us their info. Did they? All right. So those that are supposed to reach out still need to. Did he look in the Facebook group?
Posted in the Facebook group.
And I did not know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I told them to post in the Facebook group. So then we'll have to wait until next week. And but we will send out whoever is already, like, if you took care of it in Facebook, awesome. I'm just now going to go to Instagram here and see if there's any more. And let me do develop user agent iPhone. All right. And then do search. I did this.
We got Brian Root.
Steal. I don't know. There it is.
And maybe we're gonna do more giveaways in the future, right? Do we have any more shirts, or is that?
Yeah. Well, we're definitely doing. We're giving one to. You got to give one to. So there's Jonathan Crabtree. There's Ben Denny.
These are the winners?
Yeah, these are the winners.
All right, these are the winners.
Yeah. So we have Drew Jonathan at J Crabtree. We have Ben R. Denny. We have Dr. Vogelman. We have Hoodle CEO. Okay, we got that one already. And we have
four, right?
Tim Webb and Les Nisbet. So we have 5. Those 5 are getting it. Yep. And they're all on Instagram. And we'll do another search in Facebook. But those 5 should definitely get it. So we need to know your size, and they're true to size. So that's that.
I think some of them gave their size.
Okay, cool.
I think we should have that.
All right. So we will look in the Facebook group. Brian will look in the Facebook group. Let's see. All right. And this is the last one, and then we'll call it a day. This is all about using and knowing your voice and how to use it, which you do beautifully, shared as always. Well, well, it's more than that, though. It's like, you can't expect in marketing, you can't expect your prospect or your customers to connect the dots. That's your job, right? Like it's your job to translate benefits into like specific things that can improve their life. And you have to show people that, right? Like the fact that it's, you know, Steal Our Winners are 45 minutes to an hour, right? Like I can't just expect people to be like, oh, this is like 1/10 the length of a course. Like this is a much more efficient way. I know that, but I can't just take it for granted that other people will come to that conclusion. And if they don't come to that conclusion, then they don't value the membership as much. So like one of my definitions for marketing, right, that I used in my course D3 was that marketing is teaching prospects how to value your product, right? You're teaching people how to value your product. They don't know. Like, how does this fit? How does this make my life easier? What is the difference between your product and other people? Marketing is teaching people how to value your product. That's just another way of looking at it. There's a million definitions, but I like that definition because
I like that.
Like people, you can't take for granted that people are going to know all the things that you do on their behalf unless you tell them. So with that, look in the group and an email regarding what's happening on Thursday, since I don't know. Maybe it'll be Jack and Matt. Maybe it'll be no one. We'll find out. And it won't be me though, for sure. So maybe I'll do a surprise pop-up.
Maybe we'll convince Matt to do something.
Yeah. And
we'll do Matt's we'll have Matt review some copy for people, maybe.
He loves that.
I think he does.
All right, guys. To Higher Profits Beyond, this is Jack and Rich signing out. We will see you soon.